Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to this channel. I am recording this on the 5th of August, and it's important to put a date on this because events are happening so fast in our world right now that there may very well be things that have happened between the time I make this and the time it goes up. It's a very difficult run-in to Lionsgate this year. As of yesterday, I'd pretty much decided I wasn't even going to do a Lionsgate video this year because of all the trouble that's going on in my country right now, which is England. And all of this unrest, all of the violence, I have done videos of it. Take a look back. It's the one before this one. Aren't particularly conducive to maybe portals of light. It feels more like we're facing a portal of darkness. But that is not the attitude to take, of course, because if we can push through the darkness, we get to the light, we get to extraordinary light. And actually, the picture that I've chosen for the video to accompany this shows a lion coming out of a cave. And coming out of the cave very alert, very ready to tackle what needs to be tackled in our own lives and in the world. This year, it's very much about being courageous, being of brave heart, being of lion heart, and going for it. But yeah, it's a very auspicious Lionsgate this year because it's a 888 energy. I celebrate this portal really, well, for many things, but it's the numbers that really always interest me. I often do work around 1111, 88, sometimes 77. Those are particularly key dates for me. I'm very into numbers and numerology, so I will always mark Lionsgate for that alone. Look at this. It's actually 1111. Can you make that out? As I am talking about numbers. Love it. Just a little sign from Metatron because, yeah, 1111 is a sign that spirit is with you. Right. Now, what is Lionsgate? I'm just going to read this very brief summary because I always forget every single year. For those that are new and don't know about it or have only just heard of it this year, Lionsgate Portal is a cosmic event that occurs every year between July the 28th and August the 12th. It peaks on August the 8th, i.e. the 8-8 portal. And it takes place when the sun is in Leo, the Earth, Orion's belt, and the star Sirius are lined up, which is activated by that rising star Sirius. So we have all that beautiful Leo energy, Orion energy, Sirius energy, which is why I always bring Ashtar into the mix, Commander Ashtar of the Galactic Federation of Light. I'm very much feeling my rising sign right now, which is Leo. But yeah, this year is a big one, okay? It's a 888. We are in an 8 numerological year, and we have 8-8 portal. When you magnify anything 3 times, it becomes amplified. And this is really what I'm sensing this year. There is the potential for darkness and shadows to be amplified and for that to be coming up in our face, as is happening in UK at the moment. But equally, there is the opportunity and the potential for great light, great light. So we are going to be welcoming in that light, welcoming in that light, welcoming in that light, and that positivity and those blessings that are here, even if we're having to fight our way through the fog to find it. At the end of the day, I'm being shown the lion here as this predator animal, and it's able to hunt its prey. What is its prey? This Lionsgate, the prey is the light. It's the greatest prize. And of course, Lionsgate also links into Christ consciousness. This year, I'm very much picking up the energy of Aslan in Narnia energy. And of course, Aslan, the lion there, absolutely represents Christ consciousness. I did this morning on my other social media just post something about Aslan. It was just a picture post. It's something that I saw a while back, just a quote from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And it's such a pertinent energy for these times and this video and the subject that I want to talk about, which is the peaceful warrior. And this is the quote. It says, "Aslan is a lion, the great lion." "Ooh," said Susan, "I'd thought he was a man. Is he quite safe?" "Safe?" said Mr. Beaver. "Who said anything about safe? Of course he isn't safe, but he's good. He's the king, I tell you." And what that is all about is the raw power and potential and the strength and the claws that the lion has, where it can take anything down. Goodness and light is able to conquer anything, but not in a way that is harmful or violent. It's very much Aslan feels like this champion of this peaceful warrior energy. I've also been tuning into the Aslan energy this year for Lionsgate, because it feels as though we have a very sacrificial energy in town. And if you have seen the films or read the book, I mean, spoiler alert coming up, switch off for 30 seconds and then come back on if you want to read it. But obviously there is the point in the book where Aslan has to die to come back. It's very linked into the energy of rebirth and resurrection, the Christ energy. And I'm really picking that up right now, that you might be, or your country might be, at a time of ashes, where it feels as though everything is, I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but everything is lost. Of course it's not. And it's this darkest moment just before the light comes back. So we have to talk about and embrace both energies, the darkness and the shadow and the ashes and the despair, but also the hope and the light and the love and the rebirth and the new beginning, which is absolutely here. So I suspect this Lionsgate, you've probably been straddling all of that. I certainly have. Definitely been feeling as though there have been days where I've really been feeling very low, and then other days where it's felt a lot brighter. And it feels as though the more that we move through this Lionsgate corridor, and I want to say when we get 8-8 out of the way, actually, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. It definitely feels as though it's an energy a bit like Good Friday through to Easter Sunday right now. So right now we've got this sort of crucifixion energy. There's a lot of suffering. It may very well be that your wounds are coming up in a very pronounced way right now. But equally, the world's wounds, the country's wounds are coming up. And they are flaring up, in a very volatile way, in a very painful way. I've also just noticed that I think it's Mount Etna that's just erupting again, bang on cue for Lionsgate. So again, I suspect that we might see more of that around the world as well. Volcanoes blowing, people blowing, basically, losing their minds. And, I haven't even checked what's going on with the solar activity right now in terms of solar flares, but I suspect that they're probably flaring as well right now. So it's about trying to keep a cool head, and it's about trying to get back to this place of the peaceful warrior. So why am I talking about the peaceful warrior? Well, a few reasons. I mean, number one, if you've been following my work over the last couple of videos, I've obviously done some work on what's been going on in England. And England, there is that lion heart energy, the three lions, all of that. And there's a lot of disorder, there's a lot of violence on our streets at the moment. And it's very unsettling. We won't go into the reasons why it's happening in this video, but it's just dealing with the aftermath, trying to clear up the, shattered glass and windows and people that are frightened, etc. So been, working through that, processing what's going on, being saddened by it, etc. Not wanting to become the fighter myself, it's not about meeting anger with anger. That just leads to more anger. It's about trying to diffuse the situation, but also bringing through peaceful negotiation, solutions, listening, etc. So this thing about being the peaceful lion rather than the bull in the china shop, or also being, I have to say, the one who is easily led, it is not the answer. The thing about lions is that they know their worth, they know their place, which is top of the jungle, and they're not easily, what I'm trying to basically say is there's an energy coming through this year with Lionsgate of not being easily led, not just following the crowd, not just looting the store because everybody else is going to loot the store. I know 99.99% of the people that watch me would never dream of looting a store, neither would I. But you do see this footage, and it's not exclusive to England, it's happening in other places. And, the looting mentality, it's this sort of mass hysteria. It's this following the crowd. That person's gone in and got a bag of stuff, so it must be safe for me to do it. Morality and ethics going out of the window. Because the other thing with this lion energy is the one that I'm channeling here, this Lionsgate lion, is there is a moral code. There is an ethical code. You see, another energy that's coming into this video is very much the King Arthur energy, as well as Aslan, as well as Jesus, as well as Ashtar. And it's interesting, when I always put things beside me before I'm about to record, tools that I might need to bring into a video. And I've put the sprays down, excuse me, and I put the King Arthur spray down. King Arthur, the Holy Grail, Return of Camelot. I've been doing a lot of work on this, and I will continue to do more work on it. But I thought that I had put the bottle, which is Archangel Gabriel, next to it. But no, the more that I look at what I chose unconsciously is I've put the Rainbow Bridge spray beside King Arthur. Now, the Rainbow Bridge is what you would imagine it to be. It is the bridge that's formed between different realms. It's the bridge that we go across when we pass over into the other realm. And it's also the bridge where we can come back and communicate with those still here on earth. So it unites earth and heaven, effectively. If those aren't the right words for you, use different words. But it's just really interesting that the King Arthur energy is right next to the Rainbow Bridge. And what I'm feeling here, and I will spray it in a moment, is it feels as though there are fractals of the King Arthur energy wanting to come back into the collective, but equally come back into you, okay? So I've said a lot over the last year that this King Arthur energy may very well be embodied by particular people or one person, but equally we are able to embody its energy and create Camelot together, which is an energy of unity and isn't just about England, it's about all other countries around the world, all races, all genders, all ages, etc. But there seems to be something from the past coming back. And what I'm being shown is the different versions of Arthur. What I call the mirror ball, the mirror ball which shows different facets of anything, different reflections of anything. So before we go on, let's just spray the King Arthur spray for Lionsgate and let's see what wants to come through, okay? Right, so... And we have a beautiful sort of royal blue, cobalt blue, and what I call a pink amethyst or fuchsia colour that goes with this spray, okay? So King Arthur, Lionsgate. So I'm being shown two things. I'm being shown an old-fashioned castle with a moat, and the importance of the moat and the drawbridge and the energy of protection. So it's as though whatever is going on in your world at the moment, whatever is going on in your life, and whatever is going on in the collective, or maybe even in your towns and your streets, it's about knowing that you have a drawbridge that you can pull up at any time to keep you safe. So there is an energy of safety and protection coming through with this King Arthur energy today. And I'm now being shown the turrets. And, you know, if you've come to somewhere like England, but it's not exclusive to England, I'm being shown beautiful chateaux in France that I myself have visited. And, you know, in the old days, they would have all the turrets, and they'd have the, you know, the windows and the places where people would be able putting their, whether it was a bow and arrow or a cannonball or whatever it was, to keep the castle safe, to keep the kingdom safe is what I'm hearing. But the kingdom is also linked into the kingdom of heaven. But the kingdom of heaven isn't somewhere which is far off that you can only reach when you die. The kingdom of heaven is here. We can experience either heaven or hell, dependent on what we do here, what we manifest here, how we live our life, what we create, what we sow, basically. So there's something here where I'm being assured by the King Arthur energy that the kingdom of heaven, the energy of new earth, which we talk about a lot here, is safe. It's like there's a mighty citadel which is protected by all of these lions, and you must not lose hope. You must not despair that whatever is going on out there, whatever is happening in your own life, things might be falling away, fights may be happening, aggression is happening, wars are happening, disorder is happening, chaos is happening, the falling away of the old is happening. But the pearl is intact. And the pearl represents the prize. It's like the Holy Grail. It's where we are all moving towards, even through the chaos, even through the darkness. And indeed, what I'm being shown is the pearl as this bright illuminated moon. It looks more like a moon. It's just this gigantic pearl that I'm being shown. And the pearl can be seen more brightly through the in the darkness, very much like the moon. The other thing with the pearl is it's to do with you get the pearl through adversity. Pearls aren't made, they're not created unless there is a degree of friction that enables them to become whole and perfect. So the King Arthur energy is very much about today saying we understand the disorder and the disruptive energy in the run up to this Lionsgate. But it is creating a place whereby the pearl is still there for those that choose to seek it. Whatever happens, whatever occurs, whatever else is going on, there is still a pearl, there is still the light that can be acquired this Lionsgate. So that's lovely. There was another message that wanted to come in with this King Arthur spray. Let me just respray it because it came and went when I was just channeling that. So what was the other thing you were showing me? So King Arthur, Lionsgate. Okay, I'm also being shown this energy. Again, I'm being taken back to the castle. I'm being shown the great big wooden gateway. It looks very similar to when I was in France last year. And there is a place in France, excuse my terrible pronunciation to my French followers, Angers or Angers, something like that. Anyway, there's this most amazing old fort, castle, but much more than that you can go and visit. And we did go and visit it. And you walk in across these cobbles. It's like a cobbled, wide path that leads up to these enormous wooden gates. And, you know, if they're closed, there's nothing that's coming through. But what I'm being shown is these gates opening, and riding through it is this character, which is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually on the label. I'm seeing this. And that's really interesting because, believe you me, even though, I mean, Tracy or me, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Tracy actually, that chose this image for this spray. The number of times that I've used it before, I've never actually seen him charging through the gates as he is depicted on here. So there is going to be an upsurge, a surge in this King Arthur energy across the world. It's the return of Camelot type energy. And it's this thing about in a nation's darkest hour, he will return. Now, I'm not saying that Lionsgate solves everything, that suddenly everything is put right. This is about understanding energetics, and there is a pulse. There is a very strong pulse that's going to be ignited from these very difficult times. And indeed, what I'm hearing is they could only be ignited from these dark times. The truth is, my friends, that often the human race, of which we are all part, can be very complacent and can get flabby and lazy when things are good. It's as though we don't strive so much to maybe affect change. But it's when things are at the most difficult that we are forced to come together, to pull together and to unite. And that's what's going to happen increasingly. Now, for whatever reason, I feel as though England is being chosen as a launch pad, and it probably is to do with the fact that England is the Earth Star chakra of the world. The Earth Star chakra is the platform, it's the foundation. I talked about this on my social media this morning. And so it's important that it starts here, but it will spread. Now, what I mean by that is not violence will spread, but just this pulse of energy. It has to come from England, is what I'm hearing. There's something that has to arise from England, and the fact that all this disorder is in England at the moment, literally days before Lionsgate, and will be continuing in the corridor up to it, the darkness is serving the light, is what I'm hearing, okay? The chaos is serving the light, because it'll birth something. It'll birth a pearl where people are forced to come together. So that's good. All right, so that's the King Arthur spray. Okay, let me show you a couple of cards then that I've pulled off camera. I'll show you the 3 that I pulled off camera last night. And to be honest, as I say, last night I was sitting upstairs in my room before bed and I thought, I don't think I'm going to do anything this year. I'm not feeling it. I thought, okay, I'm just going to pull a few cards. If there is a message, give them to me now, Spirit. Otherwise, whatever reason, see you next year. That was really my energy. And I got these 3 cards. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, okay. Well, in fact, the first 2 that came out was the teacher. And I thought, okay, you're telling me I've got to teach something. And then we had the Queen of Stars Illuminator. And it's like, okay, you want me to illuminate something? Well, what's that? And we got this combo. We got the King of Angels, the Peaceful Warrior. We got the Knight of Trees, the Custodian. And we got the 8 of Stars, the card of Surge. In many ways, it's summing up what I've been talking about so far in this video. But can you see how just absolutely perfect they are, really? The King of Angels, be the peaceful warrior. But equally, this card, the Knight of Trees, the Custodian, this feels very Jesus-like to me, but, you know, any enlightened figure, really, it could be. But it's this thing about sitting and being the peaceful one, the silent one, the steady one, the loving one, amongst anything else that's going on right now. And then that there's going to be a surge of this. There's going to be a surge of this. Now, I'd like to read, if I may, the words that go with the Peaceful Warrior card. This is from a deck by Tony Carmine Salerno called The Art of Love Tarot. And let's just see what it says about the King of Angels. If there's anything that I have forgotten to say that is important. Okay. So it's this deck, the Art of Love Tarot. Let me put the card up, the King of Angels. It says, sometimes the path to truth must break through chaos and illusion before it exposes your eternal heart. You are truth and you are love. Right, before I even go on, what I'm hearing Spirit say is the fact that sometimes we have to become very far apart from each other and very divided to realise that actually we need each other, and that actually this is not serving anybody, this is harming us, that we come to an understanding that we are part of each other. So, this angelic warrior exudes power, wisdom and faith. His eyes reveal inner strength and knowledge won through experience. Gold and blue move through the scene as a reflection of universal wisdom, truth and empowerment. This angel has no answers for you and will not save you from yourself. He will inspire you to dig deep in search of your own truths and what is most meaningful to you. Courage and conscious effort will be well rewarded. This is the way of the peaceful warrior. And in a traditional tarot, he would be the King of Wands. Sorry, not the King of... Interesting, I said the King of Wands, because that's not what it says here. It says the King of Swords. But in this deck, he's called the King of Angels. Interesting, isn't it? So he would be a King of Swords in a traditional deck. But he's laid down his sword in this deck. He doesn't need his sword. He has the sword if he needed to use it, but it's a bit like Aslan. Aslan has the claws. If he needed to use them, he could rip somebody's throat out, but he's not going to do that because he doesn't need to do that, because he knows that the strongest, most powerful energy in the universe is remaining at peace and holding the energy of love within yourself. How many times have I said this to you? It's that image that I got a couple of years ago now, but I think it was linked into riots in the USA, and I just saw Jesus sitting in the middle of the riot in white, looked very much like that, to be honest, with complete pandemonium around him, violence around him, and then one by one people started to notice the seated white figure in the middle of it all, and it's like, well, why are you not joining in? Or what's the matter with you? And then actually they started to one by one understand to lay down their arms effectively, to put down the sword. And I realise what I'm saying because the violence in the UK has been triggered by a knife attack. So there's this thing about the King of Swords doesn't have a sword in this suit, in this deck. He has wings on his back instead. He has wings on his back. Okay, he is the King of Angels. Beautiful. So those were the three cards last night, and I thought, yeah, we're gonna be okay. We just got to grit our teeth and trust this process. And this Lionsgate might be bumpy, but boy, is it going to be powerful when we're the other side of it. Because as I say, the analogy is Good Friday to Easter Sunday. That's where we're at the moment. And at Good Friday, everything felt lost. Everything felt gone. Easter Sunday, everything felt very different. So it's the energy of death, rebirth and resurrection. And however you are at the moment, you'll be somewhere along that gauge, as it were. But you do have to go through all stages of it. And you have to honour all stages as well. So if you're feeling low, if you're feeling defeated, you have to lean into that, not get used to it, but just understand it, journal it, talk to somebody, write about it, sing about it, paint about it, feel it. Don't run from it. You can't run from it. It is part of the journey of life, because this is very much 888. It's a new cycle that's wanting to come in, and it's going to be a very powerful cycle, particularly for people that are life path number 8s. I have to say I am a life path number 8, so I'm being rocked big time this year, which is probably why I was last night thinking I don't even want to do this. It's just no way, it's just too much. I just want to go and hide under a duvet and pretend it's not happening, thank you very much. Leave it to somebody else to do. And it's like, you can't do that. You're an 8. Get out of bed and do it. It's that energy, okay? So if you're life path 8, I think you're definitely feeling it. If you're born on the 8th, you're definitely feeling it. But everyone is going to experience this, okay? It's just where you are on that gauge, whether you're actually at the Good Friday stage, which is just, this is just so much suffering, and I just can't do this anymore. The cross on my back is so heavy, the burden is so heavy, the responsibility is so heavy, the task is just too big, I can't do it. Then you have to get to a place of surrender. You put down the cross and you go through the rebirth process. And there are very big, mighty energies to help you with this. But do you know the one that is the biggest in all of this that can help you? And that's not dissing Aslan or King Arthur or Jesus or any of them. The one that can help you the most is your highest self. Your higher self. Getting in touch with your higher self, which will have been whispering to you for eons. It's just you maybe have wanted to ignore it or not listen to it. Listen to it now. And I say it because it isn't about your gender, it's not about your race, it's not about your sex, it's not about your age, it's not about your name, it's not about where you live. It is linked into the energy of the soul. It has the record of everything that you've been and everything that you will be. And it understands why you're feeling maybe as flat or as defeated as you do right now. But it also holds the template of helping you be able to get back up on your feet again and rise like the warrior that you are, like the lion heart that you are. Okay. Okay, so that was last night. I've pulled 3 cards this morning, and I'll pull some more in a moment, and I'll tell you what they are. But I will just make a note that we do have... Do I have it to show you? Yeah. I will put a link to this below. We have a higher self connection spray. This is just a tool. It's a tool. It's a powerful tool, but it's a tool to help you get in touch with your higher self. Whether you're using an aura spray, whether you're using a crystal, whether you are using a, what do they call it? Not a chant, it's gone out of my mind. You know, when you meditate, a mantra, that can be another way to get in touch with your higher self. And what is the most powerful mantra that you might use? It could be your name. Okay, when I really want to hear what I have to say, beyond the, you know, all the, other chat out there, and so said this, and this person says that, and this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do, and this book says that, and no, I call on Amanda, my name, Amanda. It has a frequency. It's my frequency. It's what my soul chose. My parents think they chose it. They didn't really. I'd already chosen it. They just were jogged by me as a little soul saying, call me Amanda, call me Amanda. That's who I want to be in this incarnation. So what is your name? You know? And if you have a real aversion to your name, that says something as well a lot of the time. I mean, okay, some names might be prettier or more beautiful than others, but you should love your name, because it's an emanation of your soul. So by saying your name, maybe link it to a colour, link it to a crystal, use a spray to help, whatever is going to help you get back in touch with that higher self. So let's just spray the higher self the higher self spray at this point, see if anything else wants to come through. I'm just hearing underused. It's like it's underused as a resource. I'm talking about your higher self, not for everybody watching, but for many people. And I'm now being shown all of the followers. I'm talking about people who follow. I'm not meaning you that follow me. I'm talking about people that follow the crowd. You know, people that can't think for themselves. People that get easily led. Is a lion easily led? No way. No way. Lions are, fortunately, hard to capture. So there's this energy of it's underused by the people that won't think for themselves because they feel as though they can't think for themselves, whereas their higher self is just like banging their head against the wall thinking, come on, when is he or she going to turn to me and ask for guidance? Yeah. So also a beautiful opportunity, this Lionsgate, to get in touch with your higher self. Okay, so let's add that to our collection. The other things that I've got here, I don't think you can necessarily see, so I'll lift them up. I've got a little candle, which I think we do sell these. I think we've got some left. I'll link it below if we do. But more is to do with grounding. So this is a combination of oils that is about grounding. And I'm really feeling the energy of the need to ground this Lionsgate, okay? Think about the lion, again, the animal of the earth. Of the jungle, of the savannah. It's the energy of grounding. Make sure you are grounding this Lionsgate. Go out in nature, get yourself, whether it's down the beach, in the forest, in the park, whatever it is you need to do. Being with animals, being with plants, in all seriousness, it helps right now. I've also got Kundalini quartz crystal, again, just awareness of the Kundalini energy surging. We have the card of surge, and again, Kundalini, surge of energy coming up the spine. So the importance to straighten our spine, to stand on the earth barefoot, to imagine our chakras becoming clear one by one, working the way up from the earth star beneath our feet to the base chakra, to the sacral, and so on. If you don't have a crystal such as this, you can be imagining light moving through you. But again, I'm now being shown, and there is a card. In fact, it's this deck. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's in the Sacred Rebels deck. There is a card that has a lion. Oh, no, it's not. It's in another deck. I haven't got it here. I'm just being shown a particular card that I've got upstairs. I won't go and get it now. But it shows this. I'm going to have to go and get it, aren't I? Let me pause the camera and come back. Hold on. Well, that's a strange one. I know the deck. The card is in, and it's not in the deck. So I'm just going to move on. But I find that really symbolic in many ways, that the missing card is the one that represents the lion energy right in the middle of the solar plexus. So it's missing. We're missing that lion strength in our center. And it feels as though this Lion's Gate, there is an opportunity to bring back our raw, to bring back our raw. It's time to roar. Okay, let's turn now then to the 3 cards I pulled this morning, and then I'm going to pull some more. Okay, so this reiterates my message already, really. But as well as having the peaceful warrior last night, King of Angels, we also had this beautiful card from the Lemurian Starseed Oracle, which is called Peace Beyond Survival. I'm going to read some of the message from the book because it's very, very appropriate for where we're at. It's asking us to be, and remember, this is your goal, this Lionsgate, or in this Lionsgate cycle. So over the next year, our aim is to become peacemakers. So it says and if you look at this card, there is a lion, but there's a little lamb underneath there. So it's the lion and the lamb coming together. Your family of light invites you to an attunement of unlimited possibility to answer deep questions. Can the lion and the lamb sit down together? Can I be completely at peace with my emotions, without any need for defense or protection, even when I feel deep wounds? Can I feel the power and the courageousness of the heart, unimpaired by any victimhood and unaffected by any negativity from others? Yes, say your guides, but the linear mind might have some objections. Am I too wounded to find peace or to open my heart? What if the lion becomes hungry or the lamb becomes afraid? And it goes on to talk about the fact that the Lemurian vibration, which goes beyond the survival paradigm, beyond feeding on another, is coming back to New Earth. It's to do with integrating the lion and the lamb within you. Do you identify as either the predator or a prey? All is embraced now in divine love, which allows you to observe the reactions of the lamb and the lion within. You are bringing these parts of yourself back into harmony through insight and compassion. So if you have felt defensive recently, this can be the lion aspect. This mighty being was trying to protect you because there was a deeply vulnerable lamb inside of you. Or do you feel like a victim sometimes? I shared a very personal story yesterday on Facebook and Instagram with regard to inner child wounding, and a reaction I had to my mum yesterday where I got quite angry with her. And I won't go into all of it now, but it was justified anger. It was something that needed to be said and hadn't been said for a long time, had been happening for, had been building up for years. And I turned to Metatron and I asked him where that roar had come from. And he said exactly what this book is just saying, which is that I was protecting the lamb within. What was the lamb? The lamb was my inner child that had never had the voice, that never had been able to say what I needed to say yesterday. So you might have a bit of that going on as well. So all sorts of emotions can come to the forefront, emotions that have been previously hidden. In this state, the lion simply sits in a state of peace, of non-reactiveness, even when anger, fear, or sadness come up. Through the innocence of the lamb, you are then able to feel these emotions and express them with grace and with non-violence. When the lamb is no longer afraid, the lion can also relax. I mean, this is deep, deep work. So the lion about courageousness and fire, the lamb about emotional vulnerability and water. And there's an affirmation that they give you in the book, and it says, as my inner lion and lamb sit down together, they share and find peace, which allows for healing beyond victimhood or aggression. So that's a pretty deep card. I mean, effectively what we're really getting at here is the fact that we need to be owning our stuff, owning our reactions, and getting to a place where we understand why we might lash out or say something in haste or anger, however justified it might be. But when you then can tend to the wound that's created that outburst, that's when we get to a place of greater peace. And we can lay down with all parts of ourself having felt heard, acknowledged, and healed. And this is the journey for the year ahead. So we've also got a card which talks about pearls, and I did mention pearls earlier on in this reading. It says the way of pearls. It's to do with new energies, trust, and a time of growth. And we've also got a card of abundance. And of course, the 8-8 energy is about abundance, that there is enough for all. Think back to the jungle. Think back to, at the end of the day, we are still quite primal creatures. We have that inbuilt mechanism still wired within us. And when we feel threatened and when we feel there isn't enough for us, that's when we can lash out sometimes, or we can behave in ways that, are inappropriate or wrong. When we understand truly that the world can be, might not be yet, but can be an abundant place for all, we are able to lay down in peace more. So this 888 is also trying to seed abundance for all. But what's happening right now, and I'm just tuning in, is that there is a darker energy in town which is trying to deter us from that, not let us see that opportunity that is here for greater abundance for all by sowing division. It's the classic textbook of keeping people divided and separated and hating each other and fighting each other. It's the opposite of this, which is peace beyond survival, which is, even though you are different from me, even though I might not understand you, we come from different places, different lands, different belief systems, different times, different eons. We can sit down together and be at peace. Okay, so at this point, I think it might be a good idea to tune into the Lemurian energy via a crystal that I've got, which is a Lemurian crystal. But I just need to first finish off my coffee. You know, let's have everything in balance. A bit of coffee, a bit of Lemurian energy. Because coffee is grounding. I don't care what anybody says. I need my coffee every day and I like it. It's one of my loves in life and there's nothing wrong with that. I'll try not to slurp though. Okay. It's only a small little mug. Let me just have this. And then we'll get to the Lemurian bit. Not to be rushed, you see. The process is not to be rushed. We rush through life. Get to it. No, you don't get anywhere like that. We have to unfurl. You don't get to be a pearl in a minute. You get to be a pearl over many lifetimes, over many teachings, over many moments, over a myriad different experiences. And many of us share a Lemurian heritage. It might not be as accessible to you, maybe, as other lifetimes. Certainly for me growing up, the Egyptian past lifetime was just so present and always has been. Atlantis too, and Lemuria, yes, I know I was there, but it's a little bit more hazy. But anyway, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. So let's just tune into what this crystal wishes to say and let's get into it. So Lemuria, the land of the free, the land of liberty, the land of love, the land of laying down of arms, the land of peace, the land of plenty, the land of magic, the land of beauty. Why would you forget? You haven't forgotten. It's encoded deep within you, within your souls. It's just about re-remembering. This Lionsgate is an opportunity to re-remember your Lemurian roots, your Lemurian heritage, your Lemurian lineage, your Lemurian gifts, your Lemurian lifetime, your Lemurian partners, your Lemurian grace, your Lemurian harmony, your Lemurian state of being, where everything was easier because you made it so. Simplification, greater clarity of what was truly important, of all that had to be let go to get to this place, of all that was not important, of all that was redundant, of all that was unhelpful, of all that was distorted. And enough of you maintained that to the final days. Not all. There was a falling of the land, a falling of the people, a falling of the grace. But the pearls exist of what once was and what will be again within a few. You are one of the few that remembers, that is meant to remember, that is coming back for these times, to bring grace, to bring unity, to bring love, to bring compassion, from a place of strength, quiet strength, dignified strength. And I'm just feeling the lands arising upon which we lived and worked and bred and healed. And these places are visible not only with the naked eye, but with the third eye. With the third eye, being able to travel to the crystal palaces in the ethers, below, above, all around, in dream state, in meditative state, ask to be taken there by your higher self, and she or he will gladly take you there. It's a place to recharge, a place to relearn, a place to re-remember, a place to reacquaint. And there sit many lions, seeing the lions, as well as the dolphins, as well as the mermaids and mermen, the creatures of the sea and the land coexisting, and the air, and the water, and you, all as one, all together, all in unity. These days will come again. These days are seeded and encoded to come again. And you are part of that rebirth. And it starts with re-remembering. Thank you. Powerful little crystal. It's been out in the moonlight last night. It's been out on new moon in Leo. Yeah. Feels very linked in to this peaceful warrior, peace beyond survival energy. Okay. I think we're pretty much done. I think we might end with a card from the Christ deck. Seems appropriate to me. Oops, got crystals rolling all over the desk. Got cards all over the desk, just like the old days, I'm hearing my higher self say. Just like the old days. You've done this so many times in so many different lifetimes, as have you. You know, all of the tools, all of the techniques, all of the abilities. Own it now. There's this energy about own it now. Own it. Don't be ashamed of who you are and what you are and what you can do. We've got the card of humbleness on the bottom of the deck, which is something I constantly try to have in my mind these days, being of humble service. And, you know, if you're trying to be of humble service, it's about modesty and humility, not necessarily expecting anything back. I mean, it's nice if you get something back, but it's not why you do it. This is the energy of Jesus, is Jesus washing the feet, not being too proud to get down and do that, humble tasks. Also the energy of chop wood and carry water. There's the butterfly sitting there watching the washing of the feet. Spirit sees everything. Spirit sees how you behave, what you do, who you are, what you embody. And it's to try to walk the talk as much as we possibly can. So I think I'm going to end this video with a prayer, and we'll just pull in the different guides and ask for deliverance, grace, whatever it is that you need this Lionsgate. So, Lionsgate, calling in the energy of Archangel Metatron, thank you for being here constantly beside us. Thank you for the codes, the numbers, the symbols, the signs that you are around us. Thank you for the colours, the sacred geometry, the healing, the community. Thank you for your lead. Thank you for your bright light. Thank you for your humour. Thank you. Calling in the energy of King Arthur. Happy to see you again. Happy to reacquaint again. Happy to remember again. Bringing back an energy of awe. Bringing back an energy of diligence, dedication, commitment, hard work, duty, loyalty, ethics, morality, steadfastness, vision, heritage, pride. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Calling in the energy of Jesus, always present, always here. Great softness, forgiveness, love, humility, non-judgment, beauty, grace. Thank you for showing the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of the angels, all of the ascended masters, thank you. Ashtar, the galactics, not forgotten, unseen but very visible to many. Strength, clarity, starseed heritage, new ideas, new technology, new vibrations, silver light, blue light, galactic light, light codes, symbols, strength, 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 stewardship, 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 organisation, game plan, strategy, protection. Thank you, Ashtar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To the lion, to Aslan, to the lion hearts, courage, bravery, fearlessness, ability, ambition, power, resourcefulness, majesty, respect, respect, respect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To you that are watching, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For your commitment, for your steadfastness, for your ability to move through these times, for choosing to come here, to help, to support, to heal, to be heard, to be of service, to be part of this community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Lionsgate. Rebirth, a resurrection, becoming the pearl. No matter what, however dark it gets, always hold the light. Thank you for being here. Much love. Pass this video on to anybody that it might help. See you next time. Bye-bye for now. Bye.